We all have our opinions about the Fisker Ocean, but whether you're an interested investor or an infuriated Fisker Ocean 1 deposit holder, one thing is for certain: concerns are common. So let's go through some of those common concerns right now. Do you know the tongue weight, and how do I get it serviced? What is tongue weight? The static force the trailer tongue exerts on the hitch ball. Don't be embarrassed, I looked it up too. The force on the tow kit has not been officially released. And for service, let's talk about my Model Y really fast. I live 60 miles from the nearest service center, but I don't need to go unless I've got warranty work. Tires can be done by anyone, brakes are the same, vehicle inspection also must be third party in my state. Yes, my state is one of the 9 no-no states for EVs. You can't buy one by direct sale at all. If you live in one of these 9 states, you're gonna have to take delivery of your Fisker Ocean in a neighboring state, unless they find some loophole. And if I crash, I'll be referred to a third-party center. All initial Fisker Ocean service will be mobile as they train their third-party technicians. So something wrong in the early days, they're coming to you. Software problem? That'll be solved with an over-the-air update. I hope this helps. Which body shop will repair the Ocean if you get into a car crash? Almost every car company and insurance company will refer you to a third-party approved body shop for crash repair. Dealerships handle mechanical, electrical, and powertrain primarily, and have a 10-year requirement to provide parts. So even if Fisker goes bankrupt, their assets will be sold, just like they were for the last Fisker iteration, to another company that will continue to provide parts by law. Is Fisker using too old a technology base for its user interface? The consensus for what they're going to use is the Intel X7 A3960. If this is true, it's not a Tesla. A 2023 Tesla anyway. Many Model Ys and 3s have used similar chips, and the BMW i7 is using the same chip as well. Why would Fisker choose an older chip? Well, it's probably because it's reliable. It's been proven, so they know it's capable of performing the tasks they've assigned it. The firmware is mature. Software developers know how to use it, and most likely it's available and affordable, which is what any startup would be going for in order to lower costs. Will the Fisker Ocean have Sentry mode? I did the forums, I did the digging. I think somewhere in an interview Henrik hinted at it, but this forum response is probably my favorite. Is blind spot monitoring standard on the Ultra? Yes. Does the Fisker Ocean have one-pedal driving like a Tesla or a Chevy Bolt? Kyle Connor got a shot at driving the Ocean at CES, and
is there like a one-pedal driving option in this at all?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
This deposit holder will qualify for the tax credit. He checks all 3 major boxes. He did a reservation before August of 2022. He converted his reservation to a deposit in August of 2022, and that qualifies him under the transition rule as a binding contract with a significant non-refundable deposit before the Inflation Reduction Act was signed. All of that was necessary to get the tax credit if you are ordering an Ocean Ultra, Sport, or Extreme. And remember, even though the contract was from 2022, the tax credit will be claimed in 2023 or 2024, depending on when you take delivery of your vehicle. So there's no way to get a tax credit for a Fisker Ocean on your 2022 taxes because nobody took delivery of a Fisker Ocean in 2022. I hope this helps. Are you still counting on the tax credit? I also converted my reservation, but Fisker confirms firm orders do not qualify for the tax credit because they don't meet the final language of the Inflation Reduction Act. I guess that means it's time to take a look at the final language from the Inflation Reduction Act. Here it is as it was published during the week that we all converted our reservations to deposits, solely for the purposes of the application of Section 30D of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, in the case of a taxpayer that, 1. After December 31st, 2021, and before the date of enactment of this act, purchased or entered into a written binding contract to purchase a new qualified plug-in electric drive motor vehicle, as described in Section 30D-D1 of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, as in effect on the day before the date of the enactment of this act, and 2, placed such vehicle in service on or after the date of enactment of this act, such taxpayer may elect to treat such vehicle as having been placed in service on the day before the date of the enactment of this act. Don't feel like that language is final enough? Here's the actual final published bill.
Solely for the purposes of the application of Section 30D of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 in the case of a taxpayer that, after December 31st, 2021, and before the date of enactment of this act, purchased or entered into a written binding contract to purchase a new qualified plug-in electric drive motor vehicle,
and
placed such vehicle in service on or after the date of enactment of this act, such taxpayer may elect to treat such vehicle as having been placed in service on the day before the date of enactment of this act.
So, to simplify, first, you qualify for the credit. Once that's done, it cannot be undone. You have qualified. However, the credit does not necessarily apply to your tax liability in the same year as you qualified for the credit. The credit is claimed for the year that you take delivery of the vehicle and can be claimed as long as you qualified based on the language of the transition rule. Qualify in 22, take delivery in 23, claim the credit in 23, which means your taxes for 2022 are unaffected by any of this and cannot be affected because you did not take delivery of the vehicle in 2022. And that's your transition rule. Hi, I have a reservation for an Ultra in the UK, and I am trying to get some sort of idea of when I might actually see the car, not even sure what year. Thanks. If I reserve an Ocean right now, when will I get it? 2024, at the earliest. How do I get it fastest? Money talks, order the Extreme. Fisker plans to build 42,400 units in 2023. All Ocean 1 models will be delivered before any Extreme trim models, and Ultra and Sport deliveries won't start until Q3 of 2023 at the earliest. Also remember, software-wise, the Fisker Ocean will not be delivered in a complete state, and may not be complete until around the time Ultra and Sport models start to ship. Your reservation date is the first important day. The earlier on the list, the sooner your invitation. There are 65,000 reservations. 2024 is a good guess. However, there's an entire genre of Fisker forums out there dedicated to determining where in line you are based on reservation data Fisker released throughout 2021 and 2022. I hope this helps. This comment has some great insights. First, the Flexee Lease plan is not available at this time. Like we assumed before, there will be no lease, and if there is, it won't be $379 a month. Even when Henrik said there would be a lease, he said starting at $379 a month. Hyundai wants $899 a month for an Ioniq 5 subscription, and it's limited to 1,000 miles per month. $699 for a Kona EV. So an Ocean Extreme lease would be $1,000 plus per month if we convert sticker price to dollars per month and apply it to a similar program to what Hyundai's offering. Is the lease coming? Sure, it's possible, but don't expect it until you drive past an experience center in your neighborhood. If we use Fisker's formula of 1/100th the sticker price for the lease, then $689 a month would be your Extreme. Why aren't they doing the lease right now? Demand for the car is too high. They'd rather just sell them, which is way cheaper as far as overhead. There's no brick and mortar places to keep these vehicles, and there's too much financial burden for this bare bones outsourcing style of company structure. Speaking of experience centers, LA will have the first experience center in the US. Munich will have the other launch-ready experience center. Mid-Q2 launch, so May or June. The next experience centers after that will be built in Vienna, Copenhagen, and Stockholm. Fisker says they have a dozen sites picked throughout Europe and North America for additional centers, so don't expect it to be around the block unless you live in Manhattan Beach, Miami, Denver, or maybe Chicago. Live in the eastern US? Fisker has established a partner for home deliveries, and they will feature pop-up delivery sites in areas where delivery centers and partners have not been established yet. Trade-in services will be available in all launch areas, but based on some customer feedback, trade-in services haven't launched just yet. Those details will most likely go out to Ocean 1 deposit holders right before their deliveries. Our commenter also mentions a sustaining electric loop at home without the purchase of a battery solution. I have a Powerwall myself, and while I love the peace of mind that comes with a battery backup, I did have to pay for it. The Ocean gives an owner the opportunity to use his or her vehicle as the backup battery. As far as what hardware is needed for bidirectional charging, does the wall box support it? No. It will take a Fisker-compatible solution, which I'm sure will be designed by a third party, but has not been announced yet. Definitely worth checking out the Ford website to get an idea of how the vehicle-to-home works. Which trim packages do you get? This is the most common contention among Fisker Ocean potential owners, mostly because we didn't know these packages were going to cost this kind of money back in 2020, 2021, when we made our reservations. And I'll assume with this question you want the most budget-friendly solution that fits your needs. So here we go. If you have heavy traffic commutes and or do a lot of highway driving, the Fisker Intelligent Pilot package will pay off. 18, 20,000 miles a year, it's going to be a benefit. If you reserved an Ocean because of its first-to-market features, or for you the Ocean is a, let's call it a second car, which really means cars and coffee, garage kept, not making all the daily commutes car, or conversely, you're going to have a lot of passengers in it all the time, then I would consider the Ultimate package. Also, we don't know if music streaming on the screen will be available in the Ocean Ultra and Sport without this package. It's definitely still up in the air. I asked the Rad Giver, and there's no definitive answer. The Performance package is the same as the Ultimate package as far as the type of use for your vehicle, with the exception of off-roading. If off-road mode sounds like something you're going to use, the Performance package is a no-brainer. Another no-brainer for basically anyone is the Winter package. If I could add heated seats to any vehicle I've ever owned for $1,300, I might do it, even for a 10-year-old vehicle. And even more of a literal deal breaker is the cabin and battery preconditioning. If you see snow in your climate, you need those. This comment highlights some key items. The Ocean will be exclusive, so if you have a reservation and take delivery and eventually decide it's not for you, you'll be able to get a premium on resale because of the wait time for a new order. Also, remember, price-wise, the Ocean is competitive with the Model Y, and we've discussed that before. Pricier with the packages, more affordable without, but Fisker will deliver 40,000 cars in 2023 if all goes well, and Tesla has delivered 4 million cars. For a startup, Fisker has a very solid offering, and the Ocean will retain a decent resale value. Also notable, Magna has built 4 million cars since its inception. So despite being a startup, the Ocean is being built by an experienced manufacturer. Here's some optimistic speculation. Fisker will need to generate cash as they continue to build Ocean models and expand their lineup of vehicles. In order to do so, they could decide later to offer certain features from the over-the-air packages individually to existing customers as special offers. This is not confirmed, purely speculation, but they do need the money, and they wouldn't be the first EV maker to do it. I also want to address my personal decision. In my last video, I said, I reserved an Ocean and I've decided, now that I've looked at it more closely, that it's not for me. What do I get? And what I meant to do was offer a segue to a question that many folks ask me in person and through my email, adamsevreviews@yahoo.com. Feel free to share your Fisker Ocean story there anytime, by the way. I am going forward with my Fisker Ocean order. I'm getting the Sport model, video in the description. I did not mean to convey that I had decided not to get a Fisker Ocean, and I apologize for any confusion. If you want to know what I think of every EV available right now, feel free to check out this video, which is also linked in the description. This comment has two questions that people ask a lot. Is the Intelligent Pilot package worth it? I think it depends on what you drive. If you have around a 2018 or newer vehicle and it has some type of adaptive cruise control and you use it frequently, you're going to miss it if you don't get Intelligent Pilot. If you aren't the type of person who likes to have the vehicle driving itself and your current vehicle doesn't have that suite of features, or it does, and you never use it, you're probably okay without the Intelligent Pilot package. I elected not to get the package myself because it won't be my road trip vehicle. I hope this helps. Also, is it worth $5,900? If you drive 20,000 miles or more, once again, probably yes. If you're an 8 to 10,000 mile per year driver, it's harder to make that $5,900 make sense. The other question was, I have a 60 amp outlet, do I need a wall box? No, you don't need a wall box specifically, but you will need a charger. There are thousands of chargers out there, literally thousands, and there are many channels on YouTube dedicated specifically to the review of those chargers. If you've already got the plug, just do some research and decide which one you might want. You could even go with a Tesla mobile connector, which is fairly affordable nowadays and offers a full spectrum of adapters, and then pick up a Tesla to J1772 plug pictured here. What else should I know? If the Ocean is your first EV, figure out a way to plug it in at home. That's a garage if you've got one, or a driveway if you've got got one, or a charger in the parking lot of your building if you've got one, or find the nearest, fastest, most convenient place to charge if you don't have any of those. If you do have a garage or a driveway, make sure you're 10 feet or less from a standard plug as well as your normal solution for charging, and make sure you have a reliable level 1 charger, because you need to carry something with you, and you never know what might happen to your 240 volt plug. Fisker's North American charging partner will be ChargePoint, which is not bad. ChargePoint has a decent sized network. Can you use these? No, but later on, yes, and in some cases, maybe. Download the Tesla app for more information. Speaking of apps, for US clients, EVgo, Electrify America, ChargePoint, PlugShare, a better route planner. Download all of those. Don't even think about it, just download all of them. That should get you started. If you live in a development with no charging, call your management, research local incentives, let them know there are many benefits for offering a charging solution. Offer to help pay for it. Call electricians and ask if they can install a solution. Even having a standard plug on the premises is a life changer. And those can be had for under $1,000 US, most certainly. If the parking area has lights, it has infrastructure for a standard outlet already. In my last video, I went over generally accepted care for matte paint, and it is a little extra. Does that change how cool it is? Not at all. It's really cool. Some people will say it's very easy to take care of. Others find it impossible. I think it depends on where you drive, how you drive, and where you park, especially. Which wheels will be best in snow and ice? Generally, the wheels aren't as important as the tires. However, more sidewall, which means a taller, higher profile, can help. And the smaller the wheel, the more sidewall you can fit on any given vehicle. That said, 20-inch wheels are fairly common nowadays, which would mean there is more choice when it comes to selecting a winter tire. Fisker obviously agrees, as both of their winter tire packages have the 20-inch wheels equipped. The 22s are going to be light on choice of tires, and the tires you can find will be expensive and low stock potentially at any given time. Might even be considered sane or reasonable to purchase an extra standard equipment tire and just have it in the garage. And you'll never see that 350, 60 miles of range, ever. Keep an eye on the aftermarket for all-weather mats, screen protectors, solar panel shades, nice-looking 20-inch wheels with the ocean bolt pattern, etc. They aren't out there yet, but they'll be coming. Magna currently has the capability to build 100 Ocean models per day, so there's much ramping to do, including training of the general assembly staff, which is almost complete. I wonder if the sports trim with winter package will have a heat pump. Great question. No heat pump on the Sport. We've got a commenter that makes some really good points and is basically asking for more transparency from Fisker. We all wish there was more. I doubt many of you would subscribe to this channel if there had been more transparency, because I spent most of 2022 trying to decode the limited information they did put out, but it's a great point. Let's hope those early deliveries answer a lot of questions. I ordered the Ultra without the performance package. What is the range and 0 to 60 time? We won't know the exact answer until homologation is complete, which has been stated will be sometime around April. The range will most likely be unchanged, whether or not you elect to add the performance package, but I would expect between 0.5 and 1 second difference in the 0 to 60 time. And I'll definitely let you know as soon as I find out. There are no real user reviews. Is that iffy? Yes, it is. However, Fisker has not delivered any vehicles, and their vehicle is going through full international homologation all at once. But it is true. There are no first drives yet, no deliveries, no homologation, no EPA rating, and no crash test data. What about the range on the Sport model? In my humble opinion, once again we're speculating, I don't think there's a Sport model that exists yet. So as far as the official range on that one, we might be waiting a while. Remember, we only have the official range on the Extreme, which I summed up very well in a short. So well, I'll just show it to you now. It's official! The Fisker Ocean has outperformed its original Fisker mileage estimate. With a rating of 707 kilometers, or 440 miles, on the WLTP standard, the Ocean is now the highest rated battery electric SUV in Europe. So what does that mean for the US? Typically, WLTP range is about 22% more than the EPA predicts. So that gives the Ocean a real chance at a 360 mile rating from the EPA. What else does all this mean? We're one step closer to deliveries. I've got some other resources for things you might be looking for on my channel, and I hope they can help you. If you're new to the channel, there's a lot of digging still left to do. Hit the subscribe button and YouTube should take care of the rest. Check out my Model Y versus Fisker Ocean comparison for a deep deep dive on Ocean-specific standard features. If you want to know why I'm getting an Ocean or why you might want to, I've got 10 reasons in this video, and I have been inside an Ocean in person along with a 6'6" friend of the channel who is extremely helpful in showing the headroom and legroom in both the front and back of the vehicle. Speaking of the front of the vehicle, there is no frunk. So, those are your common concerns. What did I miss? Definitely let me know down in the comments below. You can always reach out at adamsevreviews@yahoo.com. Let me know your Fisker Ocean story. And if you've got a Fisker Ocean 1 reservation, let me know about your experience so far. Subscribe for more. We'll see ya on the next one.
Hey! Smash the like button!
Thank you.
You're still here. Thank you so much. By the way, I do have a Patreon, and right now I'd just like to ask if you guys would like to support the channel. It's $3 a month. If I've ever made you laugh, cry, reserve a car that doesn't exist yet, or you're just in the camp that thinks I'm not a total idiot, it'd be greatly appreciated. I haven't really put much on there. It's brand new, but I am asking now, what would you like for me to share with you? Anything personal, other experiences with cars? You can always check it out at the link right down there. Thanks again for your support and for watching. See you next time.